Assalamu alaikum. This video focuses upon the use of academic language in research. And as a researcher, you would be well aware of this fact that whenever you are writing a research paper, a thesis, or the research reports, you have to make use of a standard academic language and you have to adhere to the standard academic norms of language into your paper, into your report, or into your thesis. So here in this video I have tried to jot down some important terms or vocabulary items that would be helpful for you in writing your research papers or writing research reports or thesis. And these would be, you could incorporate these terms into your paper and for different reasons. Here I would start with the use of some vocabulary words or the verbs that may be helpful for you to signpost the things into your introduction, and these signposts would be helpful for the reader to follow your ideas as a researcher or as a writer. So here you may write down in this report, this is the list of the vocabulary words, this is the list of the verbs that you may incorporate into your writing. I will focus on, or the paper will outline, or in this report my intention is to evaluate, to challenge, to summarize, etc. Or I will begin by describing how, I will begin by presenting, surveying, explaining, or this section will be followed by a discussion of, by a summary of, by an analysis of, or I will then go on to show how, to analyze, to argue. And the remainder of this paper is divided into 3 sections, is a review of, and in the final section I will discuss, evaluate, explore the implications. So there is the variety of the terms or the words or the verbs that you may incorporate into your writing instead of writing the same term again and again. And here this is the use of the transition words and phrases into your writing. And what do? These transition words and phrases, they are very much important for bringing cohesion and coherence into your work. And these transition words and phrases, they would help the writer to connect their ideas, to connect their thoughts into the paper. So you may make use of these transition words and phrases for different reasons. For example, for addition, you may make use of these given terms like again, and, furthermore, in addition, equally important, in the first place, etc. And for making comparison, you may make use of these terms like also, likewise, similarly. And for making concessions, you may make use of this naturally, of course, granted. Or for making a contrast, you may write down although, instead, despite that, in contrast, however, in spite of, even so, etc. And for emphasis, you may write certainly, indeed, in fact, of course. For in order to when you are summarizing the points, all in all, as an illustration, in conclusion, indeed. Or for when you want to add some example or you want to illustrate, so you may write after all, for example, in other words, it is true, of course. Or to indicate time sequence, after a while, afterwards, before, beside, eventually, finally, formerly, meanwhile, moreover, etc. So here this is the list of the transition words and phrases. This is the general list. You may make use of these terms for different reasons or to indicate different things. And here this is the classification of these transition words and phrases, that you may make use of these terms for emphasis. You may make use of these terms for addition. You may make use of these terms when you want to come up with the contrastive aspects of your findings or things. And here these are used for making an order. So I found these images useful, thereby I have incorporated them into my slides. Here this is the use of the different verbs that you may make use of when you want to report the findings, or when you want to report the wordings, or when you want to quote some other writer. So instead of writing the same verb or the same term again and again, this is the whole variety of the verbs and the terms that you may make use of. So here this is, you may write down the name of the writer. It could be any ABC. I have written Cain over here. So Cain argued, acknowledged, identified, admitted, addressed the problem, claimed, concluded, demonstrated, diagnosed, established the view, explored, so on and so forth. Or Cain hypothesized, identified, maintained, made the point, questioned, suggested, summed up, tried to identify, etc. And here these are some verbs that you may make use of when you want to point towards the author's inference, or when you want to point towards the inference, what do you infer from that writer's work. So you may make use of like seems to be, saying, and that would suggest that you have inferred whatever you are writing down over here, that is your inference of the other writer's work or other writer's findings. Kate appears to be suggesting, implied, or you would simply write, I would infer from his or her account that. And here this is the list of the some verbs that would suggest your dissociation from the other writer's position, that you have quoted the writer, you have quoted the writer's words, but you wanted to keep a distance between your position and the other writer's position, and for showing that distance, or for that showing that dissociation, you may make use of these verbs like Lee appeared to believe, attempted to explain, did not account for, assumed, avoided the question. So when you make use of these terms and these verbs, they would clearly indicate your dissociation from other writers' position, from other writers' sayings, from other writers' findings. So Lee or XYZ failed to explain, they ignored the problem, they oversimplified some fact, they overemphasized, or they seemed to think. And here there are some verbs that would actually help you to indicate your association with the other writer's work. When you want to associate with the other writer's positioning, you may make use of these terms and these verbs like Cranes or any XYZ author which you have quoted there. Their study provides useful insights into, their findings complement the work of, their account lends support to your work, your findings maybe, or their work provides strong empirical support, or their report sheds welcome light on, and so on and so forth. And here I have listed down some I've listed down some terms that would be able to that would help you to indicate the degree or frequency of the occurrence of some phenomena that you want to explain, that you want to describe into your work. So you may make use of these terms like in order to show the frequency of the occurrence, like you may write down always, nearly always. So that depends upon the occurrence, the type of occurrence. You may choose any one from these, generally, normally, sometimes, occasionally, usually, regularly, frequently, often, now and then, from time to time. And in order to show extent, you may write down on the whole, up to a point, or to a certain extent, or to a certain degree. And here this is the list of the terms that you may make use of when you want to show the probability of some phenomena or something into your work. So you may make use of any out of these, like certainly, almost certainly, definitely, undoubtedly, apparently, seemingly, potentially, maybe, perhaps, or it's evident that, it's probable that, it's doubtful that, it may be that, it's unlikely that, it's conceivable that, and so on and so forth. And thank you. I hope that would prove to be helpful for you in your research, and that would actually provide you a variety of the terms that you may incorporate into your work and be successful. Thank you.